Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to be making a blueberry cake. So it's a blueberry muffin recipe, but we're going to do it in loaf pans or loaf tins. And we're using a USA based product this time. It's called 123 Gluten Free. There are two different mixes or two different ranges available from Make It Gluten Free here in the UK and Ireland. So they ship to UK and Ireland. That's their logo, which is Make It Gluten Free. So I'll put all the details below the video and on the website. But you can get their mixes, 123 Gluten Free and Simply Mills. You can get both of those range of mixes on the Make It Gluten Free website. So they're very handy. There's a good range of flavours. They're USA based products, so there's a bit of a mix in terminology when it comes to the instructions, but they're very straightforward to follow, and this comes with a couple of recipes. So this one is two. There's banana bread or muffins and blueberry muffins. So today we're going to be making some blueberry bread. So I'm taking the blueberry muffin recipe and putting it in a loaf tin. So when I say there's USA mix of terminology, it's in metric measurements, so rather than the US measurements of ounces. So I'll convert them for you between metric and imperial. But things like there's spray your muffin tins or loaf pan and 35 by 20 centimeter loaf pans. That's a 30 centimeter ruler. That's a 1 pound loaf tin. I'm not sure what size their loaf tins are, but I'm going to put them into a couple of 1 pound loaf tins. So I'll load up the mix and let you see what it looks like. It's your typical sort of gluten-free mix. It's a blend of flours. So if you have a look at the ingredients on it, it's rice flour, tapioca starch and potato starch, and then a range of other ingredients as well. But those are your main three that make up the flour blend: rice flour, tapioca and potato starch. So that's the basis for our mix. The recipe is very simple. We have one package mix, 116 grams of unsalted butter or margarine, and that's melted. So I've popped it in the microwave. That's 4 ounces. 240 mils of milk, or 8 ounces, here 8 fluid ounces, and 2 large eggs. So again, just crack those into a bowl. And then we have 240 grams, or 8.5 ounces of blueberries. So these are just blueberries from the supermarket. Key thing with blueberries is you can't just tip them in. You have to check that there's no stalks. You get a little wooden stalk sometimes on the end of those. You just have to make sure as you take them out of the packet there's no little bits of sticks left in your mix. Also, if you want to check your blueberries are fresh, if you look at you've got the top of the blueberry there, which is the little sort of fuzzy bit, and you turn it over, the stalk bit, the bit that actually attaches onto the tree, that's the first bit to go mouldy. So you'll see it go white and it'll go furry, and a little bit of white fur down the bottom of that. So if you're looking at them in the supermarket, make sure there's no white bits, because if they get squashed or damaged in the supermarket, they immediately start to affect the other ones and they go off fairly quickly. And you get a little tiny bit of white mould that grows in the bottom, so that's how you check if they're fresh. So I've been through these, and you don't need to individually check them all. You look through, you'll see any bits of white flash appearing fairly quickly. They're easy enough to check. But that's 240 grams. So it's 240 milk, 240 blueberries, 116 of unsalted butter or margarine, and 2 large eggs, plus your packet mix. So we put them all together, except the blueberries, into our mixer. So my cable doesn't reach all the way to the table here, but we're just going to pop them all in together. It also says in the recipe to use your mixer paddle, paddle attachment. It doesn't actually say which paddle that is. In Kenwood terms, a paddle is for ice cream, so it'll have a flange on it for scraping the sides. I've got this heavy duty one which has got that spatula type edge on it, or the regular K-beater. I'm just going to use the K-beater. I think that's going to be simple enough. All you want to do is mix the ingredients. We don't need to work it in any special way, we just want to bring it together. The first trick, which always panics me on these, is getting into the packet without exploding flour everywhere. Nope. I'm going to check it out and cut. There we go. So, I'm going to pour it in first without putting the mixer on, rather than blend the ingredients as it goes. And that way I can give it a quick pre-mix and have no spray or splash. There we go, so that's our mix. This is our melted butter. This has been sitting for a little while, so it's taken a bit of time to scoop it out here. It started to reform on me. There we go. Get some butter in. Our 2 large eggs. Interestingly, the recipe says to use 2 large eggs at room temperature. Depends where you store your eggs. Typically I keep my eggs in the fridge. I store them in the door of the fridge. And our milk. There we go. And bring that together. You can put it just on the lowest setting to bring it together easily. I just want to make sure that there's no flour spraying everywhere. There we go. That looks pretty thick and sticky already. So again, you just want to bring it together. You don't need to beat it or work it. So bring it on slowly and then build up the speed. So we'll let that work for a couple minutes and then we'll come back and add our blueberries in by hand. Okay, so we're back again, and in the time it took me to clear away a couple of dishes into the sink, without washing them, just literally throwing them in the sink, the mixer has finished. So that was at 7 number 2, so it's pretty quick, and we have a nice big thick mix. Now it's a wee bit lumpy of bits of flour in there. Not too worried. We could mix it and mix it until we're absolutely sure every little drop is out, but a wee bit of hand mixing will clear those up. Even when you break them up, they're not clumps of flour, it's just bits of mix that are sticking together with some of the butter, I think. So, but it looks pretty nice, it smells nice. There's raw eggs in there, so we're not going to taste it. And then we add our blueberries in by hand, so just going to hoof those in. Hoof is a technical cooking term. So what you don't want to do is squash your blueberries. So that's why we don't want the mixer. And there we have our blueberry mix. So certainly one of the simplest, easiest recipes to make. And then we just need to pour it into our tin. So if you're doing muffins, you would pour them into individual muffin tins or into your muffin cases. One great tip for those, if you're using a muffin tin, your tray with lots of slots in it, pour water into any slots that aren't in use. So if you filled up 11 out of your 12 muffin spaces, pour water into the others, and that way that water will heat and cook as it's sitting in the oven, but it means it's an even temperature across all your tray. So otherwise, if it's empty, that heat is transferred into the other muffins around that. So it's just a way of making sure you get a perfect batch of muffins. So in this case, I'm just going to pour it into a loaf tin, and we're going to have a blueberry loaf. I don't know how much rise there's going to be, so I'm not going to fill it up too far. We'll try that one first. See how it goes. A wee bit left there. We'll fire that in here. There we go. So that fills 2 1-pound loaf tins quite nicely. Scrape it down, get as much mix as we can. So our oven is preheated to 175 degrees. So this is a fan assisted oven, and it doesn't say any difference. So I find the fan assisted is not a massive difference. Typically any fan assisted oven, commercial, would be 160 degrees, your home oven would be 180 if you're doing anything in a fan oven. That's your main benchmark for cooking temperature. So I've left it 175, we'll see how that goes. And that bakes for about an hour, so they say 50 to to 60 minutes. So we'll see how well that cooks through. So that's our mix ready. Just going to clean down the sides a little bit. Make sure there's no big air bubbles in, and pop it in the oven. So we'll come back in 45 minutes just to check it, and then we'll know how it's getting on. There we go. So that's it, straightforward enough. So you have a look on the website, it's makeitglutenfree.co.uk. The other great way to get your hands on 4 mixes is to enter our competition. So we have a competition running on Gluten Free Ireland, and that's on their Facebook and on their Twitter. It's also on the blog, so you can go on the website and enter there as well. Simply pop on, have a look at the competition, leave your comment which mixes you would like to win. There are 4 mixes from each range, so there's 4 from 4 from 1, 2, 3 gluten free and 4 from Simply Mills, and they're both supplied by Make It Gluten Free. So that's the website, it's makeitglutenfree.co.uk. So you can have a look on there. There's also a discount available from today. You get 10% off when you shop on the website. Again, have a look at our Facebook and Twitter pages and on the website, and you'll see that discount code. So have a look and see which ones you would like to win, and enter on Facebook, Twitter and on our website. And we'll see you again in 45 minutes. So our oven is just beeped for 35 minutes. Just going to have a quick check and see how our loaves are getting on. One tip for general baking, you always have to be careful about opening your oven door. It's more to do with the speed. If you open the oven door quickly, cold air rushes in and causes things to collapse. So just open it gently before you have a peek. And so far these are looking pretty good. Pretty tasty. Got my cake tester here, so a cocktail stick or anything at all. It's small, won't damage your cake. So that's coming out. Don't feel any resistance, and it's coming out clean. So the recipe said 45 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour even. This is 35 minutes, and that looks pretty good. Getting some blueberry there too. So yeah, make sure you get right down the bottom. They look great, so I think we'll go ahead. We'll lift those out. There we go. So here we have our 2 loaves. I'll grab my trivet here. Make sure these are both cooked through the same. Yep, they'll come out clean and nice. We've got a nice even colour across them. But this one's a little slightly crisper in the top. This is a fan oven, depends how the air circulates, but they look great. They're nice and warm. We'll let them cool in there for a few minutes, and then we'll get them out on the cooling rack, and we'll get cutting into them. We don't want to cut into them too early because they'll still be quite soft coming out of the oven fresh, but they certainly smell great. There's a nice blueberry smell to them. Nice and spongy, nice and soft, so they look nice. They smell great, so we'll see how they are. In another 5 minutes we'll come back, let them cool a little, and we'll pop them out. So our loaves have cooled down a fair bit. Just going to say we're going to slide one out here. They're still warm obviously, but this comes down to how well I've greased the tin. It was greased just with butter, so rather than the suggested spray, I'm just going to need a little bit of coaxing out with a knife. So that one. It could be the blueberries sticking around the edges as well. So just very gently run that around. There we go. Yeah, some of the blueberries are sticking on the bottom, so that's so great. Certainly feels nice and moist. in again. There we go. Oh, lovely. Yeah, some of our blueberries have stuck in the bottom, but not to worry. But otherwise they look great and they come out lovely. It's a nice loaf. They're still quite warm and squishy, but we'll have a go at cutting one anyway, just to see what it looks like. Because they are quite soft, they'll need to be gentle just while they're still warm, but very nice looking loaf with an even distribution of blueberries. Right. They're lovely. It's nice and light and moist. It's a nice bready taste with rice. Yeah, so a mix between bread and cake. It's very nice, but not too sweet. A lovely, strong blueberry taste. So lovely, and very easy, very quick to make. So that's the 1, 2, 3 gluten-free mix. So there's that one and Simply Mills, and they're both available from makeitglutenfree.co.uk. So again, I'll post the details below the video and on the website, so have a look at those. And don't forget our competition. It's on the Gluten Free Ireland Facebook and Twitter, and on their website as well, so you can go onto their blog, and the links are on our own social media. But that's 1, 2, 3's mix for muffins or quick bread mix, moist and tasty. So excellent. So certainly have a go at those, and if you do make them, let us know. Pop them on the blog or pop them onto the social pages and share them, and we'll all have a look and see what you've been making. So thanks very much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.